A very warm welcome to Rediscovering Childhood, a space where we have meaningful and practical conversations that reshape the way we understand childhood and rethink how we act, communicate, and think every day. My goal is to help you support your children in becoming the unique, amazing individuals they're meant to be, while we also work on becoming a better version of ourselves to role model what is truly possible. I'm your host, Mia Lopez, and I combine my 16 years of experience across teaching, educational psychology, play therapy, and coaching with my personal journey as a parent, an entrepreneur, and someone who started a new life abroad, moving from Barcelona to Ireland in 2011. I'm also the founder of Discovery Playtime, an Irish business dedicated to creating learning through play experiences for children and teens and providing the supports that parents, teachers, and educators need to create more meaningful and joyful environments for the children in their care. Now, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back to Rediscovering Childhood, the podcast where we rethink traditional parenting to raise more conscious humans. I'm your host, Mireia Lopez, and today we're diving deep into the heart of family dynamics with a world-renowned expert in relationships and mindset, Anil Gupta. As a global mentor who has shared stages with the likes of Tony Robbins, Anil specializes in helping people uncover the why behind their patterns to find immediate path to happiness. We're discussing how healing our own adult relationships creates a powerful ripple effect for our children. Anil, thank you so much for joining us today.
Mia, thank you for inviting me. It's going to be a great call, very practical tools that will change people's lives today.
Absolutely. How would you describe happiness?
See, happiness is external. What we're really seeking is fulfillment, which is internal. Inspiration is internal. Motivation is external. So a lot of parents motivate their kids, but it's every single day. It's every time they need to do something, they have to motivate them. But if you inspire your kids, they will learn to do things themselves, which allows you to spend more time loving them instead of telling them what to do. It makes a difference.
And how do we inspire our children?
Well, you talk to them in a way that they make the decision rather than you tell them to do it. So for example, a parent was trying to get their child to do some chores, and the child was resisting. Then I said, so let's role play. You be the child and I'll be you. And this is what we did. So Mia, I've got 4 things here. Each of them contributes to the household. Which one would you prefer to do? When you do one of these 4 things, everybody in the house benefits. And guess what? Anyone who comes to visit us benefits. It's making a big contribution. And you know that contribution is the secret to living a beautiful life. What would you like to contribute to the family?
It's the power of choice as well, on feeling heard. Their voice matters in this family.
Yeah. Instead of being told what to do, then they make the choice. It's voluntary. Then they're inspired to do that, not because they have to do it, because they want to do it. And it's the same with homework. Do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. They're going to resist it. But if you said, son, do you know why you have to do the homework? And he'll say, no, Dad, it's so boring. I said, well, honey, you are being trained to be the very best version of you so that you can earn a lot of money and live an amazing life. So this is all training. You love playing football. You love playing soccer. All of those athletes have trained. You've watched the Olympics. They've all been trained. And that's what you're doing at school. You're being trained to be an amazing human being. You're already amazing, but imagine if you're fully trained, how incredible your life would be.
And I feel that's so important. But I feel like very often we forget about the core message, which is you being you. And a lot of the time in school or at home, we set these expectations and we want our children to do their homework, to do all these things, but we're not really training them for the real purpose. It's just about being busy and doing things, and we forget about the essence and giving them that space for them to flourish and to grow the way they're supposed to.
Yeah. And then that gives you time to spend doing wonderful experiences with your kids. Instead of telling them what to do all the time, You can enjoy them like they were when they were babies. You really enjoyed them. So, Mia, do you have kids?
I do have two kids. Yes, they're 9 and 11.
Okay. Do you ever pick them up from school?
Yes, every day. Yeah.
Okay. What's the first thing you say to them when you pick them up?
Did you have a good day?
Never,
No.
ever ask that because
Oh,
they feel interrogated. Okay. This is what I recommend my clients do. Wind down the windows, put some cool music on, a little bit louder than you would normally, and you pick them up. What do you think their friends are going to say about you?
so cool.
Your mom's so cool. Then you say to the kids, hey, kids, what would you like to do right now? What would bring you the greatest joy right now? Pizza, whatever, ice cream, whatever it is. And then take them. Obviously, you can't do that every day. So when they come in the car, don't say anything to them and do this. Fist bump them. Then wait a few minutes. Then you ask them this question. What was fun, magical, exciting about today? Okay, the question you asked, remember what it was? Did you
Well,
have
I,
a day?
yeah,
They could say no. But when I ask what was fun, exciting, magical about today, what's the first thing they're going to do?
they're going to bring their focus to the positive things that happened today.
Yeah. And
Mm.
they say nothing because you said what was. So they start thinking in a positive way. Then they'll start remembering the positive stuff. And all of a sudden, they're engaging.
Oh, I've been doing it all wrong.
Well,
Okay, I can't wait for school now.
that's what we're here for. We're here to teach the parents. It's the quality of the questions that you ask. What was amazing? What was fun? What was magical? What was funny? What was hilarious? And then they're looking for that next day because they know mom's going to ask them.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, there was a time where coming from school, and that happens quite often actually, they only tell me the things that went wrong. This person said this to me, and then I was, I had to sit down where I didn't want to be sitting down, and we couldn't go outside because it was raining, and we couldn't do this and we couldn't do that. So that's when I started asking, something good happened. I'm sure something good happened. Shifting that and creating the habit, then I really like that of celebrating little wins and bring their attention to the positive things.
Yeah. And so let's role play again. Okay. You be
Okay.
the son and you have a son. Yeah. Okay. You be the son and I'll be you. Son, I have a question to ask you. If I said to you, rip off your right shoulder and give it to me, knowing you would bleed to death, would you do it?
No.
No, it's a rule that you have. Keep it. Okay. Now, son, I want to teach you something. This is going to change the rest of your life. If you had the same rule for your happiness, under no circumstances will I give my happiness away. So if it's raining, you fall down, someone says something to you, you fail an exam, use the right shoulder rule. Don't give your happiness away. Don't give your power away. Other people will always try and steal your power. Don't give it away.
It's so powerful.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a good visualization to see the happiness as part of your identity. Because if you give it away, what's left?
Yeah. And if I said to you, Mia, what's the benefit of an alarm clock? It wakes you up. What's the benefit of that? You get a good night's sleep. What's the benefit of that? You're rested. What's the benefit of that? There's no stress. What's the benefit of that? You have more energy. What's the benefit of that? You have beautiful time, extra time with the family. What's the benefit of that? You get more done. The benefit of that, you make a bigger impact. The benefit of that, you make more money. The benefit of that, you lead a richer, fuller, happier life. So that's the benefit of the benefit of the benefit. So what we've just taught, the benefit of that one thing, the benefit of the benefit of the benefit, they get to keep for the next 90, 150 years. And maybe
Yeah.
teach it to their kids and their kids' kids.
Yeah, the ripple effect is huge.
Huge.
Yeah. You are the love doctor.
I am
Tell me more about that.
Well, people started calling me that because they kept on coming to me for advice. So then they said, hey, let's talk to the love doctor. What does the love doctor say? So that I like the idea of being called that. So I adopted it.
That's beautiful. And what is involved in being a love doctor? Do you repair love?
So what I do, I remove the obstacles that people are having in their lives around relationships, around health, around mindset, around being happy. And for example, there is a formula for happiness. Did you know that? And the formula is this: happiness is equal to G times G times G. The first G is you have to give. your time, your energy, your love, your commitment, your joy, your money. Give it away, but not wanting anything in return. So if I was talking to my kids, I would say, when you perform an act of kindness, you feel good. The person receiving the act of kindness feels good. The person observing you giving the act of kindness feels good. The person sharing you giving the act of kindness feels good. The person receiving the share feels good. The person observing the sharing feels good. So there's a huge ripple effect. So when you give, everybody feels good and it has a huge impact. So an example of giving would be smiling at someone, thanking someone, acknowledging someone, calling a friend saying, hey, you're a great friend. We never know what other people are going through. By you performing an act of kindness is hugely beneficial. And sometimes we just don't know why. The second G, you have to be grateful for what you have. So Mia, if you look at your hands, when was the last time you thanked them?
I thank them.
Yeah,
Oh, never.
never. What have they done? They've held two beautiful kids
Yes,
and received money, given money, baked, cooked, hugged.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So be grateful for what you have, your eyes, your teeth, your skin. You're around what, 32?
6.
30, 36.
36. Yeah.
So your heart has beaten 1 billion times so far. Did you know that?
No, wow.
1 billion. Your kids, about 350 million.
Wow.
And the heart is 4 chambers. So it's a perfect sync. Has your washing machine ever gone wrong?
Yes.
And your car, the pump sometimes doesn't work, but it doesn't pump 1 billion times. So, and your kidneys, they filter millions of gallons of fluid. Your,
Mhm.
your skin is the largest organ in the body. And the third G is you have to grow emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Now, on August the 25th, 2025, my happiness score was 729. It was 9 for give, 9 for grow, 9 for gratitude. But 9:05 a.m., it went down to 1. Something happened. I was playing pickleball. I slipped and fell. I fractured my left wrist in 9 places, dislocated it, scraped it, needed surgery, titanium plate, 13 screws. So my give went to 1, my growth went to 1, my gratitude went to 1. Then, remember we said ask better questions. I asked myself, how can I raise my score? How can I give? So I started thanking the people around me and making them laugh and thanking the fire brigade and the ambulance people who had 12 EKG monitors on me and keeping me entertained and hydrated, and all the friends that were there. And I thought, how can I be grateful? And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm right-handed. It's my left hand that broke. At least I can play pickleball.
Mhm.
And then I thought, how can I grow? I said, Anil, you can share this with your people that listen to you, and you can explain to them that adversity can be your friend, that it's not the end of the world. This too shall pass. So my score went from 729 to 1 to 125, all within an hour. So what I'm saying is this: whatever's going on in your life, you can raise your happiness score by either giving, being grateful, or growing, and you can measure it.
That is really powerful. And I wish schools would measure that more than maths tests and things like that, because that's where the real change comes from.
Absolutely. If in the classroom, the first question they asked is, what act of kindness did you perform yesterday? They don't do that. They should. What act of kindness did you see? See, what we focus on is what we get. We normally are used to focusing on the negative, but we need to train our kids to focus on the positive.
Do you think as a society and as parents as well have changed our focus? It's really negative. Has it always been like this, or is it getting worse? What's your view on this?
So what I've noticed is that there's so many things that trying to get our attention. So our attention span is very low. So like news media is very sensational. And then we get hooked into it. So, and the other problem is that we focus on trying to remove the negativity. And that's the absolute worst thing you can do. And I explain to you why. So Mia, you come home late at night, the house is completely dark. You would turn on the lights, wouldn't you? Or would you go in and try and remove the darkness?
No.
It's silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's what people do in life. They try and remove the darkness. They try and remove the negativity, all they have to do is to be the light. So if you ask your kids, what would being the light look like now? What do they need to let go of? Where are they giving their power away? Where are they giving their joy away? And just change their focus.
How do we have those conversations with our children? Because it can be very abstract and very complex to understand for our children. Is there a more simple way? Questions. What kind of questions can we ask to help them see those little lights when things seem a bit dark, or emotions or friendships or things like that come up? How do we help them find the little light?
Okay. So I have this beautiful exercise we used to do as a family. We would sit around the dinner table. I would ask my wife this question: what did you do today that you were not thankful for? And she would say, I made this amazing meal. No one thanked me. So I would thank her. My son would thank her. My daughter would thank her. Then I would ask the same question to my son, to my daughter, and I would ask it to myself. Next question was, what act of kindness did you see today? Not did you see an act of kindness? What act did you see?
That
Around,
just assumes that you saw one.
yeah, at least one. And then what act of kindness did you perform today? Go around the table. Next question is, what are you grateful for? Next question is, what was fun, exciting, magical about today? Next question is, what did you see? What did you notice? Dad, I noticed you picked me up from school. You gave me a hug and a kiss. Not every parent comes to pick up their children, and some of the kids don't want to even be seen with their parents. I said, son, if anyone ever says anything to you, just let them know my dad loves me, because they need to know what to say. And the last question is there anything on your mind? So one day my daughter said, Dad, I'm having a problem at school. I said, great. So Dad, you don't even know what it is, and you say it's great. So honey, whatever it is, we'll find a way. So they have that belief system that there's always a way. Now, next day, my son, who was 9, would lead the exercise. Next day, my wife. Next day, my daughter, who was 7. So we're teaching them public speaking skills, confidence, respectfulness, how to run meetings, confidence, just an awareness of what's going on. And then look,
Leadership.
yeah, leadership. So then also say to your kids, hey kids, one day you're going to do something really stupid. Okay. And you just will not know what to do. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to come and tell me. I will scold you for 5 seconds. Then we'll find a solution. I will not admonish you more than for 5 seconds. I will not do any punishment, but you must be truthful. If you did something silly, we'll find a way. Can I have your word on that? You want them to come to you because you know things that they will never know. That way you'll know that if there's anything amiss, they will come to you. This one thing, Mia, is priceless.
That's really good. And I really like, what I liked most about this is how simple everything is. Because sometimes we look for extra things, and again, external, let's do more of this. All these big things and spend money and buy things. And when in reality, it's just a conversation. It's just
It-
asking the right questions.
yeah. And here's another great question you can ask your kids individually. Hey, what could I do to be a better parent to you? What could I do to be a better mother to you? What do you think they'll say?
Nothing, you're great. That's what I want to hear anyway.
I'm sure. Yeah, but it's a great
Mm.
question. He said, Mum, I wish you would trust me.
Yeah.
Mum, you would stop nagging me. Mum, I wish you wouldn't tell me to put my socks on in the morning.
Yeah, and we can build more trust as well, because we can see things. We can see that they see things that we don't know. We don't know they're capable of doing themselves.
Yeah.
And
One day my son said to me, Dad, you lied to me. And I thought, whoa, hang on a minute. I've got a very high level of integrity. I said, tell me, son, where do I lie to you? He said, Dad, you said you would play with me in half an hour. You took over an hour and a half. And I could have said, don't you know who I am? I'm saving people's lives, blah, blah, blah. Then I said, son, you're absolutely right. Please forgive me. Then I'm more conscious because, we're not seeing what they're seeing. We're telling them don't drink Coke, and then we're drinking it. We tell them go do exercise. We don't do it. So this is a great way to see the biggest mistake that parents make. You know what it is?
try to be perfect.
Is having
Mm.
kids. You see,
Start with the basics.
If you didn't have kids, there'd be no parenting mistakes. But so many kids are enabled and entitled nowadays because the parents are protecting their kids. We have to throw adversity at our kids that they can reasonably handle so that the time we spend with them is more beautiful rather than trying to fix them, save them, look after them, protect them.
I so agree with that. And I do agree. That's one of the biggest mistakes. Try to make it all so easy for them, so perfect. So put pillows everywhere so if they fall, they don't get hurt. Where in reality, they're gonna absolutely love making their own pillows. So and making the mistakes and falling on those pillows that they made. And that gives them such a huge empowerment for their own life.
Yeah.
That's so important. You spoke about repair as well. When we say something like your son said you lied to me, and then you said, "Oh yes, I'm sorry." The importance of repair and reconnect with our children when something happens and say, "I'm sorry." Actually, today I did that in the car. I gave them a little speech, and then they got really upset. And then I realized I said the wrong things, and I said, "Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. This is why. What do you think about that?" So, what are the things when we parents react to the situation, and then we absolutely regret what we said or the way we said it? How do we take it from here?
So the secret is don't react, respond. Just wait. Just see what
Pause.
happens. Slow down, let them make their mistakes, and just see what happens. Throw adversity at them. So, we would take our kids 100 feet from the house, 200 feet, 300 feet, 400 feet, a quarter mile, half a mile, 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, and tell them to get home. And, sometimes they would get lost, but we'd teach them, look for a landmark. This is what you do here, here, here. So then we took them into central London and told them to get home. But we trained them up. So if they make a mistake, they know what to do. And if you take the wrong turn, go back. Try and visualize something. Worst case scenario, ask for help. But these are the people you need to ask for help. Look for churches. Look for metro stations, tube stations. Look for big buildings. Look for police stations. Things that you are memorable, so that you can get your bearings. And when my daughter was 18, she went around the world by herself. My son was 18; he went around the world by themselves because they could handle all the adversity. Most kids aren't taught that, and we need to teach them that. If they fall down, don't rush to them. Let's just see what happens, because they need to know that whatever life throws at them, they can handle. They don't have to rely on their parents for everything.
Yeah, and that gives us safety as well, that we know they're safe when they're going away, instead of worrying all the time. Or are they going to be able to ask questions? Are they going to be able to find their way to pack their bags? They're going to forget everything. They're going to, yeah. And when we go on holiday, simple things like, instead of telling them where to go when we're at the airport, I ask them, where should we go now? This way. Okay, we go this way. And I know it's the wrong way. We go, okay, now what? Oh, actually, that was the wrong way. Let's go this way. And they take ownership of their own decisions, and that makes them so resilient and so capable and so confident in the world.
Yeah. We would ask the kids to check in at the airport. We would let them get on the plane first and find our seats. These are little things, but they're big things. Order the checks at restaurants, check the check, order food. And,
Yes.
do we order enough? Is it too much? What do you think we should do? Have we checked the pricing? Blah, 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 blah. We need to train our kids to live independently. And that way that the time we have with them isn't admonishing them, it's loving them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to talk about communication, because I think it's a big piece in how we relate in relationships as well. What are the main obstacles in communication when we interact with our own children?
So, adolescent behavior was never an issue with our family, and I'll tell you why. The reason kids have adolescent behavior is because the parents expect the child to come into the adult world. We have to go into their world. So imagine you had a 16-year-old, okay? I would coach you to ask them, what's your favorite music? What's your favorite band? What's your favorite sport? What do you love to do? Who's your best friend? Who's not such a good friend? What do you love to do? Get into their world. And then saying if their favorite band is One Direction, okay? And One Direction is coming to Dublin. I say, honey, I'm going to buy you 2 tickets. One for you, one for your best friend. I think Angela's your best friend. Is that right? I said, yeah, Mum, how did you know that? Because you've been connecting with her. And I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to drop you off. And I want you to have the most amazing time. Her friend is going to say, oh my God, your mum's amazing. We have to get into their world because what they're experiencing, what they're fearing, what they're worried about, what they're concerned about isn't the same as what we were concerned about. So we need to get into their world. Instead of sitting opposite them, sit next to them, communicate in a beautiful way. Say, hey, how can I support you? What is it that I can do to be a better mother to you? How can I help you? Instead of telling them, oh, you should do this, you should do this. When I was your age, no, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah, that is so true. And part of that, I think it comes as a little bit from expectations, obviously, as you mentioned, but also comparisons, especially today in the social media world. We can set our expectations based on what we see. It's normal and other families are going through and what other parents are doing and other teenagers are doing and behaving. So how do we handle these comparisons and the
Yeah.
technology world?
Well, it's teaching them what you focus on is what you get. And just ask them to look at your hands. Okay. Now, if you were, if someone were to chop your hands off, how much would you pay to get them back? If you had to sell your hands, what price would you give? Is it $1 million, £1 million, €1 million, 10 million euros, 100 million euros? Yeah, you wouldn't ever do that, would you?
Mm.
So let's focus on what you have, and what others have is what others have. The only thing that makes you happy is you. See, things don't make you happy. It's this inside your head that makes you happy. Focus on the 3 Gs: giving, growing, and gratitude. When was the last time you gave? Let's do some giving. When was the last time you were grateful? Let's write down 50 things you're grateful for. These are simple things, but it's that communication. And when you've been doing it for a while, they'll understand, oh, okay, they may have more, but we have family, we have trust, we have love, we have communication, we have support for each other. And that's priceless.
Yeah. What so that all comes to trust and connection in the family. If say someone is listening to this episode and they're thinking our connection is broken, our trust is broken, we haven't been spending quality time together, we haven't been building that relationship, it's too late. But it's never too late. So what are the things we can start doing now to start reshaping our relationship with our children?
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. It's never too late. And do what you just did. Apologize. Say, like, I'm so sorry. I should have spent more time with you, but I've been working so that I can put food on the table. What could I do to make it up to you? What could I do to be a better father? What could I do to be a better friend? What would you love to do? What makes you happy? Let's do something that you want to do. You know what? Why don't you plan a weekend away? You pick the place within driving distance, within 2 hours of 3 hours driving distance, and you plan the entire weekend. How does that sound? So engage them in your personal life, engage them and edify them and make them feel loved. You see, when they were born, they would get thousands of kisses. Then they would go to school, and what are they told at school? Sit down and shut up. They put their hand up, they say something, people laugh at them. So they thought, I'm not going to do that again. Then when they come home, all these thousands of kisses are missing because they've got to do their homework. They've got to do the chores. They've got to do something. And they're thinking, what happened? Now they have to do something to earn love. They have to be good kids, academics, good at sports, or they could choose to be naughty. If I'm naughty, I get a lot more attention. So that's the problem. We need to make them feel that they're loved no matter what, that they're honored no matter what. They don't have to do anything to gain love. And that's the problem these days, Mia. Everyone feels that they have to do something to feel loved because there's that disconnect.
What has changed that we have that belief so built into us? Because it's very, very common.
It's the school system. As soon as they go to school, and then we ask them to perform. What are your grades? Do your homework, do the chores, do this. But if you take on what we spoke about today, everything will change.
It's a reward and punishment system. It actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If I
And
do well, I get good things. If I do bad, I get bad things. So I have to earn my good things, even if that's love.
yeah. And it's constant judgment then. What are your grades? What did you do? How did you get this? It's constant judgment. And then we get to judge other people, and it's horrible. We shouldn't judge. We should just observe.
Yeah. And it goes back then, it's like a full cycle now to if we were measuring kindness in school, we would measure that we would compare what kind things did you do? Oh, I didn't do any. Okay, let's go do something kind.
That
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 would
would
change everything.
that would be awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. What about, say, another situation? You talked about entitlement as well. When we help our children too much, they kind of set those expectations where they expect us to be doing everything for them, giving them everything and getting more things. And because we've followed that level of really giving them too much, how do we stop that? Because the fear of dealing with tantrums or battles or fights as well, because we've set those expectations. How do we start lowering that to have a more truthful, more a healthier relationship?
That's a really great question. And, you've been through adversity. I've been through adversity. And what a lot of parents say to themselves is, I don't want my child to go through what I went through. So they give them everything. And the big fear, Mia, is this. They're so scared to lose the love from their children. They start giving them things, enabling them, and then they become entitled. And it's so painful to see. But what you have to do is give them the ability to handle life by throwing adversity at them, make them feel loved, make them feel cherished, but also instill a work ethic in them that they have to do something in life, that they have to perform. They can't just rely on parents because there's so many kids living at home at the age of 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 who just don't know what to do, how to handle relationships, how to handle life, how to handle people. And that's the worst thing that you can do. So by throwing adversity at your kids, not pampering to them, not being fearful of losing love, they will thank you for giving them the ability to handle adversity. And then you get to love them and they get to love you because they want to, not because they have to.
That's a really interesting perspective, seeing it from an attachment point of view, really, as in, me as a parent, I'll give you everything. Also, as you said, to avoid the adversity that I faced when I was a child, but also because I need your love. And to make sure I get that, I'll give you everything. Just, I'm nearly buying your love with things.
It is. And, a lot of people didn't get love from their parents.
Yeah.
Think, I need to be loved. I need to be loved.
So it really is self-development work we need to do on ourselves, so we don't need that love from them, that we end up being permissive parents, giving them things that are not really helping them in the long term.
Yeah. And it all stems from awareness, aware of how you're showing up, how you're not showing up, what you're doing, what you're not doing. See, awareness gives you clarity. Clarity gives you focus. Focus gives you action. Action gives you results. Results gives you momentum, and momentum gives you everything. So if you as a parent just sit down and say, hey, what could we do to be better parents? What could we do that will make a difference? What is it that we need to let go of? What is it that we need to show our kids? We need to show them that we trust them. We need to show them that they can handle life. We need to show them that they have magnificent parents. By asking quality questions, sitting down and just seeing what is and what isn't, what's working, what isn't, and really ask yourself, how could we become an even more amazing family? And if you do that dinner exercise, I promise you it's a game changer.
I really like that process of going from thoughts to emotions to actions to results to habits, momentum. When you want to change dynamics, say again back to permissive parenting, giving them too much, or behaviors, or disconnected relationships between parents and children, when we really want to make a change, should we start from the end, from the results? What do we not like? And then moving from that. So then analyze, okay, what are the actions we're taking that are giving us those results? And then what are the emotions that are triggering those actions? And then what are the thoughts that are creating those emotions? So it's like a backwards process.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So we have to reverse engineer it.
That's the word I was looking for. Yes.
Yeah. And then you get amazing results. Instead of being reactive, you become responsive.
Yeah. And it's then you can have those conversations. So it's the pause. I think for me, the biggest change that I've done in my parenting has been pause before reacting. Pause. And then you can think from there. What
Yeah.
do I not want to happen? Okay, so what do I need to change now in my action so that doesn't happen?
You know, another great question you can ask your kids, and you can do it today, is what are you great at? Not are you great at something? What are you great?
Oh.
What do you love to do? Mom, I love to draw. I love to sing. Ah, okay. You know, we don't ask our kids these. We try and decide for them. You know, what makes you happy? What makes you sad? These are really beautiful questions to ask them. And that's how you get a deeper connection.
And it helps their awareness as well about themselves because then they have to think, what am I good at? They might not have never thought about that before.
Yeah. And they're trying running around trying to get attention from you. So they're doing um, something, but it may not be something that they love to do.
Yeah. I've noticed that in different dynamics, especially separated parents who are divorced or the same child will act very differently. They might love school with the mom and they might hate school with the dad because the mom loves academics and the dad doesn't. So just to kind of to fit in with that parent, with each parent, they will love or not love different things. It's just very interesting.
So what happens is this: say if you have the eldest child that's very good at studying, the younger child thinks, "Oh, I'm not going to win that one. I'll do something different to get attention." So they're very smart. So if the first one's studious or athletic, they're going to choose not to be studious and not to be athletic because they want to guarantee winning. The last thing they want to do is be second place. And oh my goodness! But if I choose music, my brother is useless at music. I'm going to win. So, you know, they're very smart at making those decisions.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And again, back to asking the right questions to let them really
Yeah.
understand what is the reality for themselves, not what we expect them from them, but what's true to themselves.
And parents need to know that the definition of love is acceptance. When your baby's born and, you know, there's a blemish on the skin, you don't stop loving it. You love it more. So accept your kids as they are. Don't give them love based on performance. Give them love based on the fact that you love them and you brought them into the world. They're miracles, absolute miracles.
That's a beautiful sentence. Love is acceptance. And it's so true. When we're not trying to change them to fit into the expectations we had when we had kids. They're going to be doing this and they're going to make me look great and they're going to achieve all these things and be successful so I can tell everybody how successful my kids are because that makes me look like a great parent. And
Yeah.
it's as well when they're having a meltdown in a supermarket and in public or doing something or saying something in a public place and how ashamed we feel. Doesn't matter about the child. It's all about what other people will think about us.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And by having the awareness, we can make the right decisions.
So if anybody listening today wants to take one action, something to start doing straight away from this conversation, what would that be? What would be the most impactful thing they could do to improve the love, the connection, the relationship with their children?
Okay, this one thing will change your life. This one thing changed my life. Be so amazing that you cannot be ignored. And if you're ignored, it doesn't matter because if you show up the best version of you, wherever you are, everything changes. So the best version of you, you know, I was playing pickleball the other day and I saw a chip on the floor. And I walked past it. And then I thought, Anil, you're not being amazing. So I went back and I picked it up and I threw it in the dustbin. That's being amazing. I wasn't looking around if anyone saw me, but be the best version of you. Be the best parent, the best friend, the best son, the best daughter. Be the best that you possibly can at every moment. And the compounding effect of that is huge. your life will completely change.
I love that. Specifically, the best version of yourself that you can be right now with what you have. Because the best version of yourself is going to look different each time.
Yes.
And it's
And
accepting that as well, because that's a form of love towards yourself when you accept yourself and what you're giving and doing and being.
when your kids see it, you walking the talk. So, for example, when I'm home in my dad's house and he walks into the room, I stand up with respect for him. My kids see it. I wish they would do the same, but they don't. But they see it. They notice things. But also, you feel great. You feel, you know what? I'm changing lives. And there are only two types of people on the planet, Mia. Did you know that? Yeah, ones that make you happy when you enter a room, ones that make you happy when you leave a room. That's it. People who give energy or people who suck energy. One of you.
Yeah, that's a very conscious decision to make. I love that. What has been, just one last question I want to ask you, what has been the most impactful experience in your life for yourself?
I was suicidal in 2008, and I started to be so amazing that I couldn't be ignored. I started doing events, 5 people, 10, 20, 50, 100, 500, eventually 10,000 people. I spoke on TEDx, Fox News, Sky TV, ABC, NBC, iHeartRadio, Harvard, because of the decision I made. And when I was suicidal, I made a decision that my life was about serving. My life was about being so amazing I couldn't be ignored. I got out of my own way and started helping people. So the secret to living is giving. Make today the day you decide to live an amazing life, and everything will change.
That's incredible. You are amazing.
I didn't hear that.
You are amazing. I'll add subtitles. Thank you so much for sharing your story, your wisdom, your experiences, and all the tips. It's been so practical, so amazing. It's just been amazing. Thank you so much, Anil, for everything.
My pleasure. Thank you, Mia, for inviting me. Bye, everyone.
Bye.